good whatsoever. But, it's not late for me, Rye. It's not late for me. But, last time there was a murder, wasn't there? Didn't some big fat lady get murdered? Also, someone planted jewels in Rivian's bed or something. And then Linnaeus covered for us. Oh, I remember him. He was so sweet. And then he asked us on a date to the masquerade ball. Or maybe it's just a regular ball, I don't really remember. But he asked us on a date is the point, so I'm pretty happy. Alright. We can go ahead and get started. He soon shoos me off. And I also had to replay... I had to skip through all that dialogue since my last save point, since the game crashed last time, and I was very annoyed about that. He soon shoos me off, and I make a graceful retreat before he starts yelling again. Also, how did everyone like Alpha Prison Hole? How was that? I'm sure every single one of you here has watched that, right? How was that? Did you guys enjoy that? Do you guys want to see more of that? As I leave, though, it feels like his azure eyes are following me. That piercing stare palpable even when I'm not looking at him directly. I return to my room far less worried than when I left it, strolling through the halls with a sense of great relief after dumping the necklace on Linnaeus. How do you handle crying over a manga? Throw balls? I don't know. That's not to say, however, that my sense of apprehension is completely gone. After all, I still don't know how the gems got in my room to begin with, or who put them there and why. And the Duchess's murder feels like far too much of a coincidence to be unrelated to the theft of her necklace. Until the culprit is caught by Linnaeus, that means an assassin is running around somewhere. And if that doesn't give a man goosebumps, I don't know what would. The warmth of my chambers makes a sense of drowsiness quickly creep up on me, and after undressing and grooming myself a little, I waste no time in heading over to my bed. Just to be sure, I pat down the covers, in case there are any other valuable things hidden inside them, but to my relief, and maybe slight disappointment, there's nothing else.
Just as well, I suppose.
I curl under the sheets and close my eyes with a long yawn, the worries and stress of the night still clouding the back of my mind. My, I'll certainly have some tales to tell about this damn party when it's all over. And with any luck, nothing else too terrible will happen in the next few days. Oh, that's... What's going on with my mic? Is something wrong with my mic? Wishful thinking, maybe, but a man's allowed to dream. Is there something wrong with my mic? It's okay now? Oh? Just when I was having my little freak out? What'll happen when I have little freakouts? Because y'all be testing my patience. My internal clock nags for me to get out from under the covers, but I adamantly refuse. It's too early, damn it.
Ugh, fine.
I throw the sheets off vehemently, annoyed at not being able to peacefully drift back to sleep. As my bleary eyes adjust to the sunlight, I can gauge from the sky's brightness that it's probably mid-morning. You're eating goldfish right now? Girl, I want some goldfish. Pour a bag of those in my mouth. Luckily, it looks like a beautiful day outside, so I can probably enjoy myself quite a bit out at the festival. That doesn't assuage the fact that I'm still very much not a morning person, and I feel like death as I drag myself out of bed. I pull my clothes on, probably missing a few buttons on my shirt in the process, but still managing to look at least decently presentable. The prospect of food has made me decently excited, though I don't dawdle any longer in my room before heading out into the hall. The cheerful sounds of people chattering both nearby and in the main hall stream through the corridor, making for a pleasant ambiance, even though I'm very much not a morning person. A people person. I'm not a morning person. People are like dogs, you know. As long as they're just passively doing their own thing a good distance away and not jumping all over me, I have no problem with them. Rivian really just thinks he's better than everyone. I heard through the corridor and in the direction of the lower level, emerging onto the crowded balcony. What did I say? After I descend the stairs, as I start making my way towards the main exit, my eyes are suddenly drawn to a pair of contrasting figures nearby. You're eating deep-fried water? Honey, what does that even mean? A tall, well-dressed man and a little girl. Oh no, not Hazel again. Silas and Hazel. Little bitch. After I look over in their direction for a few moments, Hazel notices me and jumps excitedly with a happy wave to beckon me over. Oh, don't get near that pink-haired little slut. Normally, the prospect of socialization never has me brimming with excitement, but I'll admit that these two seem to be some of the most decent people I've met so far. The fact that Hazel's a child doesn't mean she's discounted, you know. Ah.
Hello. If it isn't everyone's favorite little maidette and her butler sidekick. What are the two of you up to today,
Hazel giggles and looks up at Silas, who seems only vaguely amused by my greeting. I want to beat this little girl.
Hello, sir! Silas wanted me to help him with his duties today, so I'm doing lots of important things.
Oh, it's just like she's raping my ears whenever she talks.
Hi, is that so? I'm sure you'll definitely outshine his performance. He might even lose his job to you, really.
That is most hurtful, sir. Although I will admit that Hazel has the most enviable work ethic.
He gives me a light smirk, glancing down at the little girl and offering a light pat to the head. His behavior seems more relaxed than last night, but I can't help but wonder what that was really about. How does she dust things that are high up? You know this little hoe ain't actually doing any work. She's just out here talking in her Cockney accent, trying to make a nuisance of herself. Scanning occasionally around the room with more keenness than merely a butler looking to be of help to any guests. Maybe I should try to get him alone at some point, just to assuage my curiosity. Wait, alone for what? I'm not paying attention. Is this sexual? Although he doesn't seem like the type to be very open about that sort of thing. Open about what? I missed the whole
Anything
thing.
exciting happening in either of your lives? Or perhaps you're privy to some fun rumors floating around?
Hazel purses her lips together in response, her eyes flicking up to the ceiling in thought while she plays with one of the ribbons in her hair.
Well, I saw a lot of guards today. They were asking people questions and it looked really serious.
Someone's dead, Hazel! This is no time for laughing matters.
Oh, and there was this big, tall man with them, with a really fancy cane and a loud voice. He reminded me of a circus magician a little.
He didn't touch your no-no place, did he? Circus magician? Well, that sounds exactly like...
Hazel, you shouldn't talk about the Justicia like that. He's a very well-respected man, you know.
Silas cuts in quickly to reprimand Hazel, his tone's sounding a little sharper than usual.
Oh, sorry. I'm sure he's a very nice man, just like Sir Rivian.
You're too kind, Hazel. I'm not sure how I feel about being compared to the Justiciar, though.
Now that I think about it, isn't it a little strange that Raphael is going around investigating? Is it? I mean, he's obviously guilty, and he's obviously, you know, the murderer, but is that strange? After all, I thought Linnaeus was in charge, and it certainly seems like he has no intention of working with the Justiciar, whom he clearly doesn't hold much affection for.
Are you going out to the festival, sir? I wish I could see it again, but I have to stay with Silas.
Well, if you're a good girl today and don't cause any unwarranted mischief, then I'll take you to the festival tomorrow. How does that sound?
Silas's expression shifts slightly at my offer, although the faint look of concern that enters his gaze is probably due to something other than Hazel's mischief-making inclinations. He's looking at me like I'm a kitty diddler. I just take her out just for fun.
Yes, please. I'd love to. Sir Rivian is the best, isn't he, Silas?
I swear I'd do nothing unpleasant to her, Silas.
He certainly is, Hazel.
An uneasy, wan smile tugs on his lips, but I still feel like something's rather amiss with him today. I hope my own paranoia isn't getting the better of me.
Excellent. I'm off for now, then. Stay out of too much trouble, you two.
I'll try my best.
The second day of the outdoor festival seems even more crowded than the first, with a plethora of guests swarming around the many stalls. Save automatically every 5 minutes? Is that even... Are autosaves a thing in this game? I don't think they are. Are they? I don't... Auto mode? No, that's not it. I don't think there's such a thing. I merge my way into the sea of fancy dresses and dashing summer suits, strolling along with the flow of people and perusing the various wares offered by the merchants. A wine stand catches my attention along the way, and I happily take a little glass to brighten my mood. As I walk, I suddenly spot a familiar crop of red hair not far off. Arden. Ugh. Head down, walk fast. Maybe he won't see me. I managed to escape without being noticed, heading further along the festival's main road, and I let out a pleased sigh of relief. Hold on, is that Franz over there? Was that a pleased sigh of relief? That was more like a gasp. Or maybe those were two different things. Is everyone I don't want to see out in mass today or something? Next thing you know, that woman from yesterday will...
Oh, you! Is that my little cutie I see over there?
Oh, who was this bitch and when did she get near me? And why would I let some dirty slut like this anywhere near me?
Rivian?
I wouldn't. And why is Franz showing up in this route? This is not what I signed up for. Daddy, you had your time. And I had a very disgusting sex scene with you.
Me?
Oh my god, yes. Oh, he's running! Yeah, he's running because he knows how painful that cock was from Franz. Crying out to the cruel gods, I dash off in the crowd, pushing aside shoulders and squirming through couples to make my escape. I just want to enjoy a quiet festival, damn it. Luckily, after I escaped for the second time, I don't see anyone else I recognize coming to torment me. However, my glass is now empty. My feet are a little sore from running, and I'm feeling a bit claustrophobic from how many people there are around. Look for a bench, keep walking. Oh, must consult the guide. Look for a bench. I mean, I guess. I mean, I don't know why Like, how I would know that. Like, how would I, the player, know that I need to look for a bench? Because that would make Linnaeus happy. Like, what? I don't know. But here we go.
This is just awful.
Sighing in self-pity, I idly search around for a bench, plucking at my shirt a little, which feels itchy and slightly more uncomfortable than normal. Probably because of the wine. Because of the wine. Did we spill wine on ourselves? What the hell happened? As I look for a place to recover from my near-death experiences, my eyes are drawn to a small tent a little bit off the main path. A man stands just outside the entrance, smoking a pipe. Does that say tarot reading? Ooh, we're gonna get a little tarot reading scene? Is he gonna divine our fates? Does he see us topping a Grand Inquisitor in the future? Did he just wink at me? He definitely winked at me.
You're
What?
steering, you know. You don't have to be shy if you're curious about getting your cards read.
I'm not shy, I just don't believe in that sort of rubbish. Why would I waste my money?
The tarot reader shrugs playfully, emptying some ash from his pipe onto the ground nearby.
You're a nobleman, aren't you? I find it hard to believe that money is an issue for you. Beyond that, you look incredibly bored, I have to say.
As much as I'd like to, it's difficult to argue with what he's saying. Just got here, Trony? Well, welcome to the Depression live stream. I'm depressed, and that's the stream. The thought of getting out of the heat and into a cool tent is a little compelling, I'll admit.
I found you! Stop running away from me, darling. You're so mean.
Thought be gone!
So, let's get started.
I dash into his tent so fast that my shadow's probably a few seconds behind. As my eyes adjust to the low light, I hear the tarot reader's voice from just outside.
Sorry, tarot sessions are private, I'm afraid. I'm sure the young man will catch up with you later.
I'm sure I won't. Not for her dried up coochie. A few moments pass, and then the tarot reader ducks inside, letting out a slightly amused sigh. Ugh!
Well, take a seat. Let's get started.
Whomst the hell? Whomst the hell is this tall drink of water? Look at him. He's a little bit enchanting. He's clearly evil. He is clearly somehow involved in this case, in fact. I mean, he must be, right? He has not appeared in any other route. I think he's somehow involved. He motions to one of the chairs, which I gladly sink down into. I can't help but watch with skepticism, however, as he picks up the deck of cards lying on the table and starts to shuffle them.
I really don't buy this kind of thing, you know.
You're bussy? Girl, get the hell off my stream. I don't allow debauchery like that on here, okay?
Shh. I can sense a strong mystery about you. And I feel like the cards will tell us something very interesting indeed.
The tarot reader seems thoroughly confident as he continues to shuffle, grinning at me shyly all the while. I don't think he really recognizes I just came in here to sit down and get away from that devilish woman. His brow then furrows slightly, an expression of concentration filling his features as he flips the first card before me, studying it intently.
The moon? What's that supposed to mean?
Pursing his lips together in thought, the reader glances up towards me, narrowing his eyes with an analytical glimmer in their amber depths.
A card of illusions. You lie in the dark, unaware of what secrets surround you, with no sense of your destination.
Like a bottom in an orgy when the lights go off. Well, I suppose he's not entirely wrong, is he? I feel like that could apply to just about anyone, though.
Perhaps we should ask the cards about your allies. They might reveal some useful information about those around you.
I give him a slow, doubtful nod to allow him to continue, unsure how he could possibly ask something so specific. Still, I suppose it can't do any harm. The next cards he flips over are the King of Swords, the Ace of Cups, and finally Judgment. Studying them curiously, he taps a finger against his lower lip in thought.
Ah, the king, is it? Someone close to you, a powerful figure with keen sight to pierce through the many veiled secrets around you.
Why, are you describing Linnaeus?
That certainly doesn't sound like any of the friends I have. Are you sure that's the right card?
Damn it, he's talking about Linnaeus! Chuckling lightly, the reader shakes his head, trailing his fingertip along the table from the king to the ace.
The king might not come off as a friend, my good patron. Cold, perhaps heartless. But this ace speaks of a chance for this king to have great fulfillment in his role, and you in yours. A time of difficult decisions, but one that could lead to a marvelous outcome if you take the right steps together.
My frustration mounts as the cryptic reading continues. It's not cryptic at all. The man would get along splendidly with Franz, who seems to enjoy spouting similar nonsense at every opportunity.
Whatever you say. What about the last card? What does judgment mean?
Rather than replying immediately, the man takes a moment to gaze at me with keen interest, as if expecting to glean a better context from studying my face. Or quite possibly, he's just using it as an excuse to stare, something that wouldn't overly surprise me considering the people I've been around lately. What, do you think he's coming on to you? So...
An awakening.
arrogant.
A realization. A time of self-reflection and a resolution, all tied into your bond with the King of Swords. The mysteries around you will become clear at this final hour.
I watch in puzzlement as he taps his fingertip over judgment, looking rather smug and confident in his appraisal. This all sounds horribly dramatic.
It could have been worse, I suppose. Good thing death or something nasty like that didn't make an appearance, right?
Oh, it certainly could have been worse. I implore you to keep in mind, however, that these cards don't read your future, but rather the potential paths ahead of you.
He sweeps a hand slowly across the table and gathers up the cards in his hands, slipping them back into the deck with a mysterious twinkle in his eyes.
And which path you take, of course, is entirely up to you. Exciting, don't you think?
He leans back in his chair and laughs to himself warmly, shuffling the cards once more. Starting to feel slightly unsettled, I push myself up to my feet, pulling out a few coins from my pocket and dropping them onto the table.
You're a convincing swindler, I'll give you that. Good day, sir.
I make my way out of the tent before I can spout any more confusing dribble that'll make my head spin. The warm air outside actually feels a little refreshing, and returning to the bustling crowd makes the curious predictions quickly float away from the surface of my mind. Deciding to loop around and return to the main part of the festival, I stick to the side of the road, hopeful that all of those unpleasant near encounters from earlier don't repeat themselves. Alright, that guy, that's not the last we've seen of him. We're probably gonna find him underground in that basement place where all the endings of the game take place. He's gonna be there, and we're gonna have to pretend to be shocked about it. We're gonna have to pretend to be shocked when we reunite with Dracula. Thankfully, it seems like I successfully escaped for now anyway. In my head, I start to make idle plans for the rest of the day, wondering if I should pay another visit to the gardens, or maybe see if there's a library in the castle I can peruse.
Ah, Vadison. I should have expected to see you here.
Oh, he says it so accusatorily. Like he's really upset to see me. Like I've done some wrong. Punish me. I was so absorbed in my own thoughts that I didn't even notice the man casually falling into step beside me. How long has he been walking there?
Linnaeus? Why are you at the festival? I thought you were in the middle of an investigation.
I stop in my tracks to stare at him in surprise, and he halts in front of me. The dark, brooding expression on his face indicates quite clearly that something's wrong.
I've been taken off the case. The king ordered it directly.
What? This can't be! If not you, then who? Who could possibly solve this case? Not the justiciar. He stares gloomily to one side, looking the most distressed I think I've ever seen him before.
What? But you're the Inquisitor. Why would he take you off the case?
It was that damn Justiciar. Below me in rank, but always trying to make me seem like a fool. I know he said something about me to His Majesty, that infernal pompous gigolo.
For once, his icy glare is focused on something other than me. Instead, focused so intently on a patch of grass that I swear I could almost see it withering under his gaze. Damn the Justiciar. Damn Grandpa. I'm not sure what to say to console him, or why I even feel the need to console him in the first place. Well, Linnaeus isn't alone. Everyone's getting laid off, you know? Corona. But we're at a festival, so maybe it can take his mind off the unpleasant situation.
Well, why don't you see it as an opportunity? After all, you must be hard at work for most of your waking hours. Relax a little and, relish the joys of life.
His eyes flick over to me, narrowing in a mixture of irritation and skepticism.
Unlike some people, I am a man who prefers to work, rather than waste my time with frivolous...
What happened to him? Since his shoulders are too high up for me to place my arm around them, I grab a hold of his wrist instead, pulling him back into the crowd and towards the festival stalls before he can finish his annoyed response. He stumbles alongside me, finally matching my pace somewhat reluctantly. Aww.
Why were you even out here, anyway, if you didn't intend to enjoy yourself at the festival? Sounds a little fishy, if you ask me.
The angle Rivian's holding his other arm at just looks wrong. Looks like he fucking broke that thing. Like, what's going on with his left hand? I don't know. It looks weird. Am I crazy? I don't know.
I was trying to find the king's foreign advisor, in hopes that she could help me remedy this situation. Don't you dare imply I was planning on drowning myself in this swamp of excessive leisure.
But I am glad that we're dragging Linnaeus around. It's cute. I can't help but snicker at how uptight and offended Linnaeus sounds at the prospect of having even a little break. He must be addicted to his work. It's impressive though, probably not overly healthy.
I'm going to force you to have fun whether you like it or not.
Don't be so ridiculous, Barrison.
Linnaeus frowns at me with a disapproving push of his upwards of his glasses, but I ignore his protests and pull him into the middle of the festival anyway. The first step has to be food, because it's easy to be cranky when you're hungry but on a full stomach. Everything suddenly seems rosier. Even to Linnaeus, probably.
So what do you like to eat? Vegetables? Does your diet consist of pure broccoli, perhaps? That would explain why you're so full of
Ah! No, don't you dare try to take the shit out of Linnaeus, okay? He was perfect.
Yes, I try to maintain a balanced regimen. When I do indulge in sweet things, however, they are most often fruit. Nature's candy, it is so often called.
Well, no surprise there, really. Armed with this new knowledge, I drag Linnaeus towards the little market stall of a man making fresh desserts. I lean in to whisper my request to him and pass over some coins, and he quickly sets about whipping something up. Linnaeus seems thoroughly puzzled as he gazes down at me, those hawk-like eyes blinking skeptically.
Just exactly what do you think you're... Huh?
As the vendor hands a bowl over to me, I shove it into Linnaeus' arms. It's full of fresh fruit, drizzled with chocolate and crumbled sweet biscuits. Very thoughtfully, the dessert maker stuffed 2 spoons inside. We're gonna eat it like a sundae together? I'm confused. I grab one of them, scoop up a few fresh berries and half of a biscuit, and then force it into Linnaeus' mouth before he has a chance to do anything. Are we feeding each other? Is it cute couples feeding each other? I don't know. I don't know if you just stuff a whole biscuit in his mouth, if that's cute. At first he chews with annoyance, but his icy expression starts to steadily thaw into something that betrays a certain enjoyment.
This is quite good, actually.
Isn't it? You have to indulge every now and then, you know. Otherwise you forget what the sweetness of life can really be like.
Did y'all hear a moan? Maybe Linnaeus moaned just now. As much as he tries to pretend to be reluctant, it's clear that Linnaeus' mood is brightening a little with every bite he takes. Hey, don't go... Ignore Nox in the chat, okay? Ignore Nox in the chat. He is a well-known sodomite. And he's not to be, you know... Don't interact with him. We walk along together, each taking occasional spoonfuls of the tasty fruit dish, while heading into the part of the festival with less edible wares. I notice Linnaeus' eye constantly taking in his surroundings, with a keen look of wariness, but he also seems a bit more at ease than he was earlier. Although he's certainly out of his element while I pull him along from one vendor or attraction to the next, it's rather charming to see his cold exterior shifting into something slightly more gentle. He must really never have a moment to relax, huh? Well, I guess I don't usually do this sort of thing either. But I can't imagine what it must be like to spend all of your days and nights hard at work, without a second for so much as an occasional dessert or leisurely stroll. It explains why he's so no-nonsense, I guess. He probably expects everyone else to be as dedicated to what they do as he is. At one point during our impromptu escapade, a thought suddenly occurs in my head, and I pull Linnaeus' sleeve to get his attention.
You don't already have a mask for the masquerade, do you? We'll both need one, you know.
I bite my tongue almost immediately after I speak. He said the other night that the only reason he wanted to go to the masquerade was for his investigation, but if that's been cancelled— No! Our day can't— it can't be cancelled. Our date! Our date!
I suppose you're right. I'd prefer to get something plain and simple instead of overly gaudy, though.
To my surprise, he replies back thoughtfully, rather than giving the scornful retort I was expecting. Has he forgotten his words earlier, or does he really just intend for us to go to the dance for a date? Why wouldn't we go for a date? As I puzzle over the situation, we come to a stop in front of a stall selling extravagant masks. I scan the shelf for something that catches my eye, a bit overwhelmed by how many different options there are. It's hard to laugh at how out of place the tall, stiff Linnaeus looks among the plethora of mostly young girls at the stall, cooing over sequins and sparkling finishes on various masks. Soon I find a pretty one that tickles my fancy, and after showing Linnaeus several different masks to try and figure out what he likes, he finally begrudgingly picks out one that I offer him and purchases it. I suppose that must mean he finds it less objectionable than the rest. As we head off into another part of the festival, however, I can't help but notice that the corners of Linnaeus' mouth are actually slightly turned upwards. It's strange to see the deep lines on his forehead somewhat relax, but it serves to make him look more his age rather than a cranky old man.
You should smile more often, you know. You almost look cute.
I beg your pardon. I am not smiling, and I most certainly am not cute.
He says while turning his face away to hide what is almost definitely a smile. As the pleasant day wears on, the afternoon sun starts to gradually descend in the sky, and both of us agree to begin heading back towards the castle. I convince Linnaeus to buy a couple of things for himself along the way, little souvenirs and accessories that clearly draw his eye, though he's too proud to purchase them without being nudged into it. Not a Seto route? Girl, why are you all even talking about Camp Buddy in the chat? You know, this is a Camp Buddy free zone, okay? Camp Buddy free zone. So shut the hell up, no Camp Buddy talk. By the time we return to the main hall, the Inquisitors warmed up enough to exchange playful jabs and banter with me, our insults and retorts more teasing and less sincerely meant than they used to be. We head up the stairs, and I expect him to find an excuse to run off. To my surprise, though, he motions for me to follow him in the direction of the guest rooms.
Where are we going?
I need to speak with you in private. Come.
Yeah. I'll come in private with you. Will I need all my clothes to speak with you in private, or can I just leave them at the door? Bewildered at his stern order, I follow behind him through the lavish hallway. The lighthearted mood grows a little tense once more, and I'm not sure what to think as we quietly walk towards his chambers. Hey, someone just asked another question about Camp Buddy. What did I just say? What'd I just say? When we reached the door, his gestures somewhat impatiently for me to step inside, so I oblige. The door clicks shut behind us, and Linnaeus approaches me with his long, deliberate strides. Ooh, is he moving in for my hole? He doesn't come to a stop until he's right in front of me, his height forcing me to crane my neck slightly to meet his gaze. His serious expression abruptly returns and he hesitates for a long moment. Where are the mods? Yep, no mods here. They didn't feel like showing up. That's just the way it be. I know, these Camp Buddy simps out here. Oh. Oof. Finally, he takes a sharp inhale and characteristically avoiding my eyes.
I lied to you earlier. I wasn't at the festival to look for the advisor.
I thought that much was obvious. You were obviously just wanting to enjoy yourself.
He shakes his head firmly, without the over-exaggerated protest he did before.
I was looking for you. You. You're the only one I trust to help me with my own investigation.
Trust us! He's looking for us! I blink at him for a few seconds. Is he seriously trying to pick this back up again? No, more unbelievably, did he say I was the only one he trusted for his investigation?
I can guess what you're thinking. It seems strange that I would ask you for something like this. Truth be told, I was considering asking some of the other advisors I know well, but right now, I feel like I cannot rely on any of them.
Oh, Linnaeus, I'll do anything you ask of me. You can rely on me for anything.
They all have their stakes in various court affairs, and any number of them might be plotting against me. But you are still too new to this to be involved in such things. That is why I trust you.
I'd never plot against you.
Oh, you trust me because you think I'm too innocent for court intrigue, is that it? For all you know, I could be secretly planning your demise.
Dream of it! Why? Is the stream still... Is the stream still going? I just got a Windows message that said OBS fucked up. Is the stream on? Is it everything okay? Because I got a Windows message and it said, you know, fuck you. OBS is fucked. Stream still on? Yes? Stream still... Okay. Alright. I guess let's continue. My doubtful response makes Linnaeus shake his head gravely.
Rivian, listen to me. I implore you. Something is wrong. This thievery, this murder, the placement of the stolen jewels in your room.
Okay. Linnaeus, yes, something is wrong. Someone's dead. The jewelry was planted in my room. Obviously, something is wrong. What are you trying to say?
My conscience won't let me rest if I simply leave this matter in the hands of that foul feather-hatted charlatan. I sense there is a deeper plot here, and I have to unravel it before the celebration ends.
Oh, he's a man with a mission. He lifts his head back up to gaze at me intently, where behind his glasses I see a glimmer of dark determination. Even if I refuse his offer, I know he'll still investigate by himself, and nothing short of being put in a jail cell would stop him. Can I really risk involving myself in this? I thought I had managed to escape the tangled affair and earned a chance at a peaceful few days. But Linnaeus, the proud Grand Inquisitor, trusts me enough to help him with something so important. I'm not obliged to assist, but at the same time, I don't feel like I can let him down.
Fine, I'll help. Why on earth I'm risking my own neck to help your excessive thirst for justice, I have no idea. But you'd better be damn grateful for it.
Oh, you're helping because you have a thirst. You have a thirst not for justice, but for Linnaeus. My reluctant reply causes a slow, relieved smile to spread over Linnaeus' lips. The shift in his expression is more gratifying than I thought it would be. Oh, he's smiling. Alright, okay, so... there is something about all of these Linnaeus CGs that are... They're weird. They look slightly different than the CGs for like all the other routes. I swear to God, I'm not crazy. I swear to, there's something about them that they just look a little different. I'm not crazy. All of them have looked like a little different. I don't know what it is. And then Linnaeus does a most un-Linnaeus-like thing. His hand is petting my head. Pet me like a dog. Woof woof. I'll be your dog from now on, Linnaeus. Just let me take off my pants. Let me raise up my leg and pee on your leg.
Good boy. Your father would be proud, I'm sure.
Let me get on all fours and let me sniff your ass. Unsure of how to react, I stare at him in awe as he ruffles my hair, his long fingers tousling my neatly combed blonde locks. The smile on his face is warmed to an unusually coy smirk, perhaps due to his amusement from my baffled response. I feel my cheeks starting to heat up, but I can't deny that the special attention feels a little nice. Y'all having conversations with yourself in chat. Oh, yes, I've seen that. I swear to God, I do see that. It's happening in chat sometimes. Oh God. Ugh.
Are you going to keep your hand there all day?
It's like some of these people are fucking crazy in the chat. They're like schizophrenic.
Oh, I beg your pardon. You were wearing an expression like a purring cat, so I thought you were indirectly asking me to continue.
I'm a pup, thank you very much. And if you want this pup to lick you all over, you better start by giving me a treat. You got any Scooby snacks? My disgruntled pout makes Linnaeus snicker softly, but he finally steps back. When the warmth from his gentle fingers vanishes, I feel a little disappointed, but I force myself to ignore it and return to the matter at hand.
When do we start then? What facts do you already have about what happened?
Is this your kink? Kuro really likes puppy play. Blocked, all of you are blocked. Letting out a sigh, Linnaeus leans against his desk nearby, fingers slipping underneath his glasses to rub at his eyes.
What I gleaned yesterday was this. After being escorted to a room by several guards, the Duchess was given a glass of water that was already on her dresser when the men arrived. Not long after, however, she began to show signs of poisoning. It worked its way through her system quickly, and she was dead not long after.
The Inquisitor pauses, tracing his thumb across his bottom lip thoughtfully. I can almost hear the sharp gears of his mind whirring.
It is suspected that one of the servants brought the poisoned water while she had left her room. And it is possible indeed. The motive, however, is less immediately clear.
You don't have a theory behind why someone would want the Duchess killed?
He lifts a finger at me as if to halt my questions, offering a chiding huff.
I didn't say that, did I? I've been deliberating on this overnight. The most likely explanation is an attempt to sabotage the engagement between the Duchess' son and our own king's niece. The Duchess, as you may know, is an important figure from the Qatarian Empire, and such a marriage would have been a strong alliance. But now, as she has been murdered on her own soil, things are suddenly precarious.
I frown at his words, trying to piece together what he's getting at. Someone killed the Duchess to endanger relations between us and the Qatarian Empire?
This scheme reeks of a nefarious, anarchistic group that has been quite active of late. The Disciples of Ignatius.
What? Why are we looking at the sky? There's no windows in Linnaeus' room. What? What is this? Are we daydreaming? Did Rivian just get so bored he just started daydreaming? Oh, I'm not even going to listen to Linnaeus anymore. I'm just going to count some clouds. I'm just going to think about big puffy clouds. Like, what is this? What's going on? I don't understand. There's no windows in his room. It's dark in there. Have you seen it there? It's dark. There's no windows. Linnaeus clasps his hands behind his back and strides over towards the window. I guess there's a window, but you know, I've never seen it. You can't see it in that CG. His glasses reflecting the afternoon sun as he gazes out into the distance.
The Disciples are well known for doing everything
see any
they
light
can to bring down
coming
monarchies,
in from any windows in that room.
to plunge the world into a war of law versus chaos. I fear an agent of theirs has snuck into the celebration somehow. But, if that is the case, it's possible my fears are unfounded. As much as I loathe to admit it, the Justiciar is renowned for bringing numerous members of the cult to light, even though it goes beyond the reach of his occupation.
From the way Linnaeus' fingers curl into fists at the mention of Raphael, I can tell how much he hates the other man. The chat's scaring you? Yeah, the chat needs to be put out of commission. Well, it makes sense. Their jobs are fairly similar to each other. The level of their competition, though, seems like it goes beyond a healthy rivalry. In fact, they strike me as completely opposed to each other. The sharp, no-nonsense Linnaeus against the showy, theatrical Raphael.
Why do you dislike him so much?
Girl!
Raphael, that is.
You know, and first of all, like, where's the window in this room? I can't see where the light is coming from. I don't see it. Second of all, what the hell is wrong with you? Put rocks in your shoes? My shoes? What are you... Is this your fetish? Is this some kind of... What is it? Are you getting off right now? Do you have rocks in your pussy? Like, what's happening? You like putting rocks in your pussy? Does it feel good? Like, what? What's wrong with you? The question pressing on my mind slips out almost unthinkingly. Linnaeus' eyes briefly widen, but a moment later they narrow in a bitter expression.
He is my estranged cousin. At one point, many years ago, we were as close as siblings, as hard as it is to believe. But as circumstances changed, he became increasingly antagonistic.
To my surprise, there's a faint element of pain in Linnaeus' voice. Circumstances? What kind of circumstances, I wonder? I can barely imagine what could have turned a close relationship into something as hateful as they have now.
Keep your distance from him, Rivian. As easy as it is to write him off as a fool due to his distastefully flamboyant demeanor, Raphael is a dangerously shrewd man. He'll make you drop your guard, then take advantage of your weaknesses.
His gaze suddenly focuses on me with a look so serious that it makes a chill run down my spine. He's making it quite clear that this is an order I'm not supposed to disobey, and the sharpness of his eyes makes it impossible for me to do anything than nod. Why does he care so much about me interacting with Raphael, though? There's an unusual level of intensity in his words, which is admittedly rather flattering when directed towards me, but there's certainly something going on between these two, and my curiosity is burning so intensely that I want to pepper Linnaeus with questions. Could it be that Raphael is interested in Rivian, and he just doesn't want Raphael to have Rivian, to take Rivian away from him? Oh yes, I see now. It's gonna be a fight. They're gonna fight over me. I think that's what's going on. Although right now I get the feeling that he doesn't want to delve into it any deeper. The tension in the air remains taut after his words, and as I grow increasingly desperate to diminish it, I let out a soft breath and smooth my hair back with a hand.
Well, I'll do my best to discover what I can. Perhaps we can meet later to discuss our findings?
Indeed.
That single cool word is all the reply he offers me before he turns back to his desk, beginning to shuffle through papers, absorbing himself in his work. You hate it here? Oh lord. Yeah. Perhaps discussing Raphael put him in a bad mood, worse than even his normal one. I find myself a little disheartened, however, that he doesn't offer so much as a warm word of farewell. I mean, we're not bosom friends? What? Bosom. That's bosom, right? Bosom? I've never... what? Don't know what that means. But I wouldn't mind if he showed more of the lightheartedness from earlier. How can he switch back to being so brusque within only a few moments?
I'll see you later then.
Alright, guys.